I have a little public service announcement. And the reason I'm making this is because this idea of orienting ourselves towards pleasure is a big theme right now. And what I notice in my practice and what I understand about our brain and body and nervous system through my studies is that when we have an intense situation, when we're feeling states of grief, we're feeling states of chronic pain, of sadness, of fear, of anger, of repulsion, shame, that those experiences are really big. And our brain and our nervous system are wired to notice those things. And we are wired to notice it and to get away from it and to look for them. Our brain body mind system is constantly looking for them. It's scanning our body 4 times a second, looking for safety, but it's also looking for if there's threat. So when we have a trigger, that sense inside, the sensations of a trigger are really intense. But the opposite of a trigger is not an intense experience to match that. The opposite of a trigger is really something that in the trauma world they call a glimmer. Now, a glimmer, if you can imagine, let's say it's like a little sparkly thing, like a little, pixie dust that floats through the air. It's not this big firework explosion that you would think would match the intensity of the more, negative trigger. And yet, because our brain body mind system is oriented towards noticing the triggers, noticing the big, bad, crazy, awful stuff, we tend to ignore or not make a big deal or glass over those glimmers. And I see this all the time where someone will have an intense place where they're holding pain or fear, and we'll kind of go in there and we'll explore it, and they'll have this whole revelation. They'll have this beautiful expansive experience, and then they say, oh, well, yeah, I can feel a sense of pleasure. I can feel, oh, that feels good. Oh, I can feel more breath. And then I'm going to invite them to spend time noticing it. Yet very often what will happen is the person will say, okay, and then want to move on and start talking about something else. And then that's where I'm like, oh, no. We're going to go back to that one thing. And at that point, they're like, well, I don't remember what I was feeling. I don't even know what I'm looking for. And usually what's occurring is that they are looking for something big. They're looking to remember and recall some intense thing, like, oh, I said that was pleasure. No, that really wasn't pleasure. Yes, it was. And the reality is that the experiences of pleasure, the experiences that we can describe as neutral or pleasant in our body, those sensations, that's what we need to pay attention to, and that's what we need to make a big deal about. And that means marinate in them, stew in them, spend time trying to remember that over and over and over again. Because what you're doing is making your brain nervous system mechanisms learn that this is important to pay attention to, because these systems inside us are trained to pay attention to the triggers and not to pay attention to the small things, to the little things. And this is why we are going to spend time working with noticing and recognizing and rewiring ourselves towards pleasure. Because not only are we missing these opportunities of pleasure, we also have issues in our society where we just equate pleasure to sex, which is a beautiful opportunity for many people to experience heightened states of pleasure if that's your thing. And maybe it's not your thing at this moment, or maybe this experience of learning how to feel pleasure can lead you to something like that, or maybe not. The point is that we have this idea that pleasure needs to be this giant orgasmic, large experience, and really pleasure is it's in the small things. And so one of the things I'd really like to do is just give you a tiny little practice into how to help find these little experiences, these little glimmers. And if you like this and you're a woman, you might want to join me and the ladies tomorrow for the women's circle, because we're going to kind of dive into this a little bit more. And also understand that when you've had a lot of hardship and trauma, or you've had a lot of experiences of shutting down your life force energy, of suppressing, of being a people pleaser, these states of being that kind of suppress our nervous system or take it into defense mechanisms, then to experience pleasure can be registered in the body as threat. And that's because our body's not used to those sensations, or sometimes something traumatic happens and the lines get crossed. So when we learn to work with pleasure in this safe way, in this diving in the depths and coming out and starting by working with the little small things, what we're doing is beginning to train our system to be able to hold larger and more intense, in-depth experiences. So in this work, and why Isis is emphasizing that we work with this, or we begin to orient and prepare ourselves in working with this, is that as these states of energy are being heightened and being blasted down to the planet right now, asking us to upgrade, we have to be able to build this capacity inside to feel this stuff, to be able to hold it and integrate it. Not only are we healing our wounded feminine parts that have been told that pleasure is wrong and pleasure is bad, and we're essentially blasting out of these old belief systems, these old paradigms that we were told we had to shut down, shut up, and just look pretty, or don't be angry, or, this is the way things are. All of those things that we suppressed in the past in order to maintain the connections that we need to, all of that is being blown out of the water. And we're being asked to reclaim our survival instincts. We're being asked to reclaim our authentic expression. And in order to do that, we have to know what pleasure feels like in the body. We have to know what it's like to carve out a whole new way of being. So we are going to start, and we're going to build that from the bottom up. So I am going to invite you to just forget about all of my words right now, to allow all of your awareness and attention to just drop into feeling your feet on the ground, feeling where your legs are, feeling the sit bones, if you are seated, feeling where the feet are, if there's more pressure in the toes or the balls or the heels. Just where in the feet do you feel the connection? Where in your sit bones, in your bum, do you feel your body connected to the chair? Is your back up against a chair? Do you feel the fabric of your clothing? Do you feel the skin exposed? Wherever and whatever sensations are available to you right now, I'm going to invite you to drop into it. And this is the first little experience of how to orient yourself towards pleasure. It's in the slowing down and really getting into what those little minute sensations feel like. And as you're doing that, I'm just going to invite you to scan your body And see if you can notice where your breath is. Not changing your breath, not judging your breath, not making it bad or wrong or trying to elongate it, just noticing where it is. Very good. And as you're just scanning the body, as you're feeling the sensations of your body making contact with the earth, with the chair, with the environment around you, I want to invite you to recall something that you think is pleasurable. And as I say that, it does not have to be something crazy. It could be something like tasting an ice cream cone. It could be something like seeing little kids running in the park. It could be taking a bath. It could be laying down in your bed after being tired all day. Just something small. And this is the catch. We don't want to get wrapped up in thinking that we're looking for something huge. Like, the last great orgasm we had, or the massage treatment that we had. I'm talking about the smallest little thing, like the scent of your tea as you picked up the cup and brought it to your mouth to drink. And whatever you are choosing, I want you to just give yourself over to your imagination. Give yourself over to the experience. And as you are doing that, can you notice what is happening in your body? Do you feel more saliva in your mouth? Where is your tongue? Can you notice your breath? Again, thinking about mine is snuggling in bed with my 5-year-old. And I can feel this sense of sensation in my chest and my upper back. And it makes me smile a little bit. And I'm not just thinking about the smile, I'm really feeling that smile on my face. And yours is going to be different. But the idea is that we're dropping in to that experience and we are going to really make a big deal about it. Like we're going to really explore it. Like it's the first time we ever felt or experienced something like this. And just bask in it. Just give yourself that chance. And this is just the beginning of what Isis is really calling me to start focusing on with people, because not only does it help us, like I said, reorient ourselves towards more pleasurable experiences and help us draw in abundance, but it's also how we are going to build the vessel so that we can experience more heightened states of energy. And we need to build this new earth from the bottom up. And that means we're on the ground, we're here on this physical earth, and we are making the necessary changes to move our societies into awakened states. And in order to do that, then we need to be resonating at certain frequencies. And that doesn't mean the frequencies that pull us out. This means the frequencies that pull us in. It's the everyday waking moments of our lives that we're going to make the changes. So I hope you'll join me tomorrow. And if not, I hope that you are finding ways to orient yourself and to slow down, to smell the flowers, to taste your life, and to soak and bask in those little glimmers of life that really are how we make a difference. Much love. See you soon. Bye-bye.